So let's look at the hardware they provided. All the bags are numbered out, and all these parts, fasteners, look to be stainless steel, except for bag 7, and these are the 4 bolts that holds the basket onto the system and the clevis pins. But that's okay. I'm going to plan on taking those out from time to time, so they shouldn't freeze up. But everything else seems to be stainless and good quality. What is interesting is the tool kit that comes with it. Now, I'd read that the tool kit had everything you needed. I kind of doubted that, but sure enough, there's a 17mm socket, an adapter, and an extension, and that should work with the Ford Bronco kit. Should be everything we need. I'm going to remove these 3 bolts. I've got a towel stuffed in there so I don't drop one in there behind the panel. This is the Ford provided part, Ford provided tools. I've just got this 1 bolt here left. Those 2 are out. This one's in just by a few threads. And now I'm going to take the 3 out on the other side. Release the 2 latches here to raise the back end up normally. Just kind of set it down, but don't let it engage. Then you take some of the packing material that's wadded up. So this will take a little strength. And hold it up like that. Alright, these are the sides. It goes in foam side down from the tail to the rear. Slide this in and then put this back up on top of it to hold it up so I can attach the fasteners. Like that. Bag number 1 uses a 5mm Allen wrench that comes from a socket, and this is my Ford ratchet wrench. It says to use a little bit of the Vibratite, Loctite on the thread, put 4 on each side, and then tighten them down. All right, I've snugged down the 4 Allen bolts. Took the thing down. I've dropped this back down again, and I'm going to attach it loosely with 1 bolt. I'm going to take the bolt out of the other side and lift the other side up and repeat the process here. All right, I've got both plates on and they're snugged down. brought the roof down and I've attached it with one bolt on either side kind of loosely. I want to shut the top up and get it closed down so the bottom bolts align correctly and I can get it snugged down right. So top goes up and then put in the rest of the bolts and tighten them down. All right, moving to the front, push this little tab on the top and this comes out quite easily. Use your Bronco toolkit to take these 4 bolts off. Don't lose them, keep them, you might want them back someday. All right, I've got that mostly done. Not quite snug down yet. It's a little bit loose as per the instructions. That's where it should be. The next part is to put the rear tower on. It says to assemble 3 pieces and put it back on with the help of a friend. But I don't have a friend, do I? So I'm going to install one side, then the other side, and then I'm going to put the cap on the top of that and put it all together that way. That way I can manage the weight myself. All right, we've got 2 towers. Then I'm going to put one on each side. Make sure you pick the right one. So the angle, this angle, matches this contour here. So I'll put it on the top there. I'll use parts. I'll use fasteners from bag number 6 to come from the underside. There's 6 holes, and I'll attach that loosely for now. So a little later on, we're going to attach this, which is the slide, onto the top tower. I'm going to show you this on the ground because it's a little bit easier. I'm not going to assemble these ahead of time and put it up because it's too heavy. But basically, once this piece is on, the rear tower, this piece goes over top of it, and this is the slide. It sits on the 3 holes right there. But before you do that, I will one-handedly, this goes on top of here. And then with bolts from bag 5, you put them in there and attach it kind of loosely because you'll want some wiggle room to line the whole thing up. But again, that comes after. This will be down on the top, which will be hard to see. We're just going to mount the top of the tower onto the installed side tower plates. All right, this bit's a bit heavy. I'm standing on my tailgate and I'm going to bring up the top deck of the rear. I'm setting it on my roof, but I'm using the packing material that came from the box. Remember, these have to go forward, so I'm backwards right now. Like so. And we'll set the whole thing on top of these. All right. Fits kind of loosely right now. All right. Use the fasteners from bag number 4 with its washers. And there's 2, 4, 6 on each side. I'll put a couple on each side and then I'll come back and put them all on. And then we'll tighten the whole thing down. All right, still loose down there, loose up there. It moves around a little bit. This is the slide. It goes on top. Slides over the 3 bolts. There's 3 sets of those bolts that are sitting there. This goes down. This plate goes on top. kind of like a freehold washer. I'm using parts from bag number 5. You fasten it. We put 9 of those in. And we don't tighten them up all the way because we want to move over this way for when the plate goes in. We'll tighten these later on. All right, so I'm going to put these 9 in and we'll get to the next step. Here's the view from the back side. This plate goes down. Repeat 9 times to kind of keep it loose because it needs to move around. That'll be tightened last. All right, now we're going to tighten all these on both sides first, and then we're going to tighten all of these 6 on each side after that. Tighten up these 6, but obviously one works against the other, so I'm going to loosen them up all a little bit and then tighten them back down again. All right, next step is to create the platter, the basket. Those planks slide into these holes and then fasten down with parts from number 3. I was hoping to do this up on the top, but I just don't see how I can get that done. This thing is going to weigh, I think, about 60 pounds, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle. We'll see how that goes. So, Loctite all those fasteners. Put them in, everything in loose first, and then put the end caps on the top and the bottom. They're identical, and then tighten the whole thing down. All right, this doesn't go together exactly perfectly, but they didn't provide the tool for this, so I got one. Whew, done. And when you're assembling the basket on the ground, you might want to put something underneath it. A little love there. All right, that's all assembled. I think it's about 65 pounds. So wish me luck here. Yeah. Yeah, that could be a 2-person job. We're going to attach 4 bolts now and 2 pins, 2 clevis pins. Once that's done, and it's tightened down with those 4 bolts, then we'll adjust those top rails, tighten everything else down. First you tighten 4 bolts, and then everything else you haven't tightened, then you do that. Whew. Time. This is about where the basket sits in the rail, but if you remember, there's those little bolts down there that you use that silly little wrench to tighten up, and you can't get at them now, not really. So just slide the rail past a little ways. So I'm gonna put the phone down for a second. There, I pushed the basket over, and now you can tighten up those 3 little bolts in there. 2 little bolts in there. Okay, I've tightened up those 2 nylocks down there on the front and on the other side. Now I'll bring the tray in. So you're looking to find this hole about even, both sides, left and front. This bolt goes on, washer concaves that way. Get in there and you'll find a hole. There it is, I think. All right. Now we're going to need the extension. The big socket from Racket. It's a 17 millimeter. Oop, wrong way. All right, I got it kind of loose. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, tighten them down, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do after that. All right, in case you're wondering how I'm standing on the back, I've got my leg hooked over the bar like so. So I think the only thing we have left to do, yeah, I know that's probably not going to happen, is tighten those 3, 3, and 3 left. Theoretically, when I undo those big 4 bolts again, it should platter should slide out and slide back in. And if it doesn't, well, I'm going to have to adjust a few things. I'll hope for the best on that one. All right, here goes this.